When it comes to Australian coins, most people overlook the everyday $1 coin jingling in their pockets. But believe it or not, some of these coins can be surprisingly rare and valuable. Today, we're diving into the fascinating stories behind two standout pieces, the 1995 and 2017 Australian $1 coins. What makes them special? Let's break it down and uncover the hidden gems. Let's talk about the 1995 Australian $1 coin. Now, if you've ever held one of these in your hand, you might not have thought much about it. It's round, golden, got some kangaroos on it. Just your average dollar coin, right? Well, not quite. The story behind this coin, the design, the minting, the collectability, it's all a little more interesting than most people realize. The 1995 issue of the Australian $1 coin came out at a time when Australia was well into its decimal currency system, which had replaced pounds, shillings, and pence back in 1966. By 1995, Australians were used to carrying dollar coins instead of paper notes, and the $1 coin had been circulating for over a decade since its debut in 1984. But the 1995 version is unique in a few subtle ways that collectors and coin fans pay attention to. First off, let's start with the basics. This coin was minted by the Royal Australian Mint and features the famous and well-loved Mob of Roos design. This is probably the most iconic image ever put on a modern Australian coin. Designed by Stuart Devlin, who was appointed as the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, this design shows 5 kangaroos hopping in different directions. They're layered together in motion, creating a sense of energy and balance that really captures the spirit of the outback. Now, this design wasn't new in 1995. It had been used since the first $1 coin was introduced in 1984. But that's part of the charm. The consistency of the kangaroo design makes small variations in mintage years more noticeable to collectors. Think of it like this. When every coin has the same basic look, tiny differences in strike quality, wear, and production errors stand out a lot more. That's why people start paying closer attention to specific years, like 1995. Let's dig into the mintage. In 1995, the Royal Australian Mint produced about 186,036,000 $1 coins for general circulation. That's a hefty number, which means this coin isn't considered rare in terms of availability. You could still find one in your pocket change today if you're in Australia. But the real value doesn't come from how many were made, it comes from the condition and variations. For example, coins in mint condition with no scratches, blemishes, or wear are far more valuable than the average coin that's been in someone's wallet for years. These high-grade examples are often taken from mint sets where the coin was never intended for circulation and has been preserved since it was struck. Coins from these sets can have mirror-like finishes, sharp details, and no handling marks, exactly what collectors dream of. There's also the matter of proof coins. In 1995, the Royal Australian Mint released proof versions of the $1 coin as part of annual proof sets. These are struck with specially prepared dies and blanks, creating a super sharp, shiny finish that's noticeably different from regular circulating coins. Proof coins are often the crown jewels in someone's collection, not just because they look stunning, but because they're produced in much smaller quantities. But what makes the 1995 version extra appealing is the quality of the strike. Believe it or not, some years are better than others when it comes to how well the designs appear on the finished coins. In 1995, many coins came out with soft strikes, meaning the details weren't as sharp as they could be. This makes it harder to find well-struck 1995 coins, which adds a challenge for collectors. Now let's flip the coin literally. On the obverse side, you got the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, as was standard for Australian coins at the time. This portrait was created by Raphael Maklauf, a British sculptor, whose version of the Queen appeared on Australian coins from 1985 to 1998. In this image, the Queen is shown wearing the royal diadem, facing to the right, with the words, Elizabeth II Australia 1995, surrounding the image. Maklauf's portrait is easily recognizable by its smooth lines and slightly idealized features, giving the Queen a calm and regal expression. This version of her likeness is known for having a slightly fuller face than the more realistic portraits used in other eras. It gives the coin a particular aesthetic that collectors identify quickly. Now here's where things get a bit more exciting. Even though the 1995 $1 coin only had one standard design, that doesn't mean all coins are exactly the same. Some collectors hunt for errors and varieties, and 1995 has a few worth watching out for. For instance, coins with die cracks, cuds, where a chunk of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob on the coin, or even double strikes can sometimes be found. These errors are rare, but when they show up, they can push the value of a single coin into the hundreds of dollars range. Collectors also look at the edges. The Australian $1 coin has a reeded edge, those tiny vertical grooves you feel when you run your finger around the side. Sometimes a coin might come out with a misaligned or partially missing edge reading, which is another kind of minting error. Again, these are rare, but they're like golden tickets for collectors who know what to look for. Now, let's say you've got a handful of 1,995 $1 coins. How do you know if they're worth anything? The first thing to do is check the condition. Is the coin clean? Can you still see the fine details in the kangaroo's fur? Is the queen's crown still crisp or is it worn smooth? Little things like this can make a big difference in value. If your coin looks nearly new, it might fall into the uncirculated category. In that case, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $25, depending on how flawless it is. If it's a proof coin from a mint set and kept in perfect condition, it could go for even more, $30 to $50 or higher, especially if the market is hot. One thing to remember is that values can vary over time. What's worth $10 today might be worth $30 next year, or drop to $5. That's why a lot of collectors like to hold on to coins with long-term potential, especially when they're in excellent shape. You might be wondering, is it worth collecting a coin like this when millions were made? Well, that depends on what kind of collector you are. If you're looking for ultra-rare, low-mintage coins, then the 1995 $1 might not blow your mind. But if you're building a complete year set of Australian $1 coins or focusing on the mob of roos designs, then 1995 is a must-have. And if you happen to find one in top condition, or with a funky error, you could be holding on to something pretty special. Besides, collecting isn't always about rarity. Sometimes it's about the story. The 1995 $1 coin is a snapshot of a moment in time, Australia in the mid-90s, with a stable currency system, a respected mint, and a commitment to quality in design. It's a symbol of everyday life, but also of national identity. And there's something special about that. Many collectors also enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Going through bags of coins, looking for that one piece with a sharp strike or a rare flaw. It's like modern-day treasure hunting. And the 1995 $1 coin offers just enough challenge to keep things interesting without being impossibly rare. Plus, it's a great starting point for new collectors. Affordable, accessible, and familiar, the $1,995 coin is a gateway into the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. It teaches you how to evaluate condition, recognize mint marks, understand strike quality, and spot errors. Once you get hooked, you'll start noticing all the little things that make each coin unique. Next up, we've got the 2017 Australian $1 coin, a piece that blends the old with the new and proves that even modern coins can have collector power. At first glance, it might just seem like another kangaroo dollar, but 2017 was no ordinary year for Australian coins. It was a year packed with unique releases, low mintage finds, and some surprises that got the coin collecting community buzzing. So, what makes the 2017 coin stand out in a pile of pocket change? Let's start with the basics. The standard circulating $1 coin for 2017 continued the tradition of featuring the famous mob of roos reverse design, created by artist Stuart Devlin. That design's been a staple since 1984, 5 kangaroos leaping together across the back of the coin in a powerful, almost sculptural pose. It's simple, instantly recognizable, and a true symbol of Australian coinage. On the obverse, the coin features the Ian rank broadly effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, which had been used on Australian coins since 1999. The Queen faces right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a design known for its elegant realism. But here's where things get interesting. 2017 wasn't just about the usual circulating coins. That year saw multiple different $1 coin releases, some meant for circulation, others exclusive to mint sets or commemorative packs. And that's where the value starts to creep in. First, let's talk about the standard circulating version, the mob of roos dollar. The Royal Australian Mint reports that 22.44 million of these coins were struck in 2017, making it a fairly high mintage year. That means you'll still find these in change across the country. In circulated condition, they're worth, well, $1. But the story doesn't end there. Because in 2017, the Mint also released several limited edition $1 coins, and that's where things start to get exciting. One of the most notable releases was the Alphabet Coin series, a creative concept where the Mint released 26 different $1 coins, each representing a letter of the alphabet. These were sold in Woolworths stores across Australia and included all sorts of Aussie icons and themes like A for Australia Post, B for barbecue, Z for Zooper Duper, and so on. Each coin had colorful, fun packaging, making them extremely attractive for kids and beginner collectors. But some letters were harder to find than others, especially towards the end of the alphabet. That scarcity is what fuels collector demand today. Another standout in 2017 was the Donation Dollar campaign, where a special coin was released encouraging Australians to give the coin to someone in need. Though that coin officially launched in 2020, the idea of special message coinage was building around this time, and the 2017 Mint began experimenting more with public-focused designs and limited releases. Then we have the 2017 Mint Set and Proof Set coins. These were high-quality coins not intended for circulation, but for collectors only. They came in special presentation packaging and often included finishes like frosted designs or mirror-like fields. These proof coins are often struck multiple times using polished dies, giving them a crisp, almost glowing appearance. The 2017 Mint Set featured the mob of roos $1 coin, but in uncirculated and proof finishes, making them instantly more desirable for collectors. Let's not forget another 2017 gem, the Anzac to Afghanistan commemorative dollar, released in coin and medallion sets. Although this coin wasn't released into circulation, it was highly prized among military and historical collectors. It honors Australia's involvement in military conflicts from World War I through to modern times, a meaningful and deeply symbolic issue. So you're probably wondering, what's all this worth? Good question. It depends on the version of the coin, its condition, and how it was sold. Let's break down the pricing a bit. Circulating 2017 mob of roos $1 coin. Circulated condition. Face value, $1 Australian to $1 Australian and 50 cents. Uncirculated condition, raw $2 Australian to $5 Australian. High-grade examples, MS, 65 plus $10 to $25 depending on market demand and grading. 2017 Alphabet Dollar coins. Individual coins in original packaging, for Australian dollars to 10 Australian dollars each. Full 26-letter set in mint condition, $100 Australian to $200 plus. Hard to find letters like X, Z, Q. $10 to $20 individually. 2017 Mint Set $1 coin. Uncirculated in set packaging, $25 to $35, whole set value. Proof $1 coin from Proof Set $10 to $20 individually if sold loose. Error coins, if found from this year. Die cracks off-center strikes, CUDs, $20 Australian to $100 Australian plus depending on severity and rarity. But what really grabs attention in the collector world is condition. A well-circulated 2017 coin found in someone's change isn't going to set the world on fire. But a pristine, untouched example, especially one pulled straight from a mint roll or a mint set, could hold its value and even appreciate over time. Now, let's switch gears for a moment and talk about coin errors and varieties, the goldmine for serious collectors. While the 2017 dollar didn't become famous for major die varieties like some earlier coins, collectors still hunt for small imperfections. A double rim, planchet flaw, die chip, or weak strike can all catch the eye and make a coin unique. And in the world of numismatics, unique equals value. If you come across a coin that looks different from others, maybe the rim looks thicker on one side, or a kangaroo is missing part of its outline, you could be holding something worth far more than face value. Now, let's look at this coin from a collector's mindset. If you're building a full-year collection of Australian $1 coins, 2017 is a required piece. But here's where it gets even more interesting. If you're building a type set, one coin for every major design, then the 2017 Alphabet series gives you a ton of variety in just 1 year. Some collectors specialize just in 2010's decade coins, and 2017 is a key year because it had so many designs. From the classic roos to Alphabet editions, proof-only versions, and error coins, it's like a mini collecting playground. As far as investment potential goes, the 2017 coins might not seem like superstars now, but here's the deal. Modern low-mintage coins often rise in value 10 to 20 years after release, when the clean, high-grade examples become harder to find. The Alphabet series especially is likely to gain future interest just because of its fun factor, nostalgic themes, and connection to Aussie culture. Plus, we've seen examples where coin sets that were selling for $30 or $40 in their release year have doubled or tripled in value later. It all comes down to conditions, scarcity, and demand. Let's talk storage and protection real quick. If you have any 2017 coins, especially those alphabet coins or proof examples, you need to store them properly. Use soft coin flips, 2x2 cardboard holders or capsules. Avoid PVC plastic. It can chemically react with the coin surface and leave ugly green damage over time. If you plan to resell in the future, keeping the original packaging is crucial. Many collectors want the full experience, coin, card, blister pack, and all. Tear that away, and the resale price drops. Presentation matters in numismatics. Lastly, let's zoom out and think about the cultural meaning of coins like this. The 2017 $1 coin, especially the alphabet series, represents Australia's modern identity: fun, casual, diverse, and proud. It was a coin that reached kids, sparked conversations, and got people into collecting. That's powerful.